Welcome to my shop. It's pretty humble, not really much to see. It's actually not even finished. I need to add a door over here that goes into the other side of the barn, but I haven't done that yet. And a few more other things I need to do. But since we're not really here to look at the shop, we're going to talk about making a nest for barred owls. I guess barred owls have been one of my favorite birds, wild birds of prey, I guess you could say. They are found in this area of Michigan. And I've been really fascinated with barred owls since I was probably like about 14 when I first discovered them. They really have an amazing vocal calls that they make, and we hear them out here quite a bit. Usually in the afternoon, like say around 6 or so in the afternoon, usually I hear them quite a bit, and also at nighttime, especially on a warm summer night, you hear them. A few times they have even in this big tree here in the middle of my yard, and put on quite a show with their vocals. And so I thought for Ramadan this year, one of the things that we are supposed to do is to be charitable. We're supposed to be extra charitable during this month. Obviously we're supposed to be charitable all the time, but during this month we're supposed to be extra charitable. Prophet Muhammad would actually, he was a traveling merchant, so during Ramadan he would put a lot of his merchandise on sale, and he was extremely generous during this time of year. And being charitable is actually one of the pillars of our religion, so it's very important to us. And that extends not only to people but also to everyone, the wildlife and so on. So I thought this year, as one of my acts of charity, I would build a nest box for the barred owls. It's actually a bit late because barred owls usually nest in this area around March, and it's already April, so they most likely have already chosen a nest this year. But I thought I could still make one and put it up, and you know, when they're flying around, maybe they could find it, and if they like it, maybe next year they'll use it. So I thought I'd walk you through the steps of making a nest box for barred owls. Hope you enjoy. According to some research I've done, then the nest box needs to be 13 by 13 square and 2 feet tall on the short end. And if you make a pitched roof, I'm not sure exactly what this back wall should be, but I'm just going to guess, I guess. A lot of them online, they were square, like straight across here, but I like the idea of having a slanted roof. That way stuff wouldn't collect on top of the roof and rot it, etc. So I'm going to go look in my scrap wood pile and see if I can find some boards that are 13 inches across that I can cut up to make this nest box. Okay, so I came up with this 1/4 inch, or I think it's 1/2 inch. This 1/2 inch chipboard here. I guess I'll just have to paint it because I can't find anything else wide enough to make it out of. I did have a piece of 3/4 inch, but it's just so heavy. I think it'd probably be better to make it out of this 1/2 inch because you have to put it up in the tree, like I think around 20 feet off the ground. So that's going to be quite heavy if I make it out of 3/4 inch plywood. So I decided to go with this, and I'm not sure I have quite enough, but maybe I could use slats on one side if I have to close it off. But this is what I came up with out of my scrap wood pile. So let's get busy. All right. According to my plans, we need one side to be 2 feet by 13 inches. So this measures actually 25 inches. We'll call that good enough for the 2 feet. So needs to be 25 inches by 13 inches. So 13 inches is right here. And there. 13 inches. Wide. And 2 feet tall. So this back edge here, again, we're doing it 13 inches wide, and I'm going to make the back edge a little bit taller so we get our slant roof. So that is going to measure 30 inches for the back wall. So I got those two marked, and I'm going to have to go start the generator so I can cut it. So hang on. Front and back. And now I gotta measure the size. Alright, I'm gonna go shut the generator off so you can hear me. Alright, so I got 2 sides. This would be the front and the back. I initially told you it was 30 inches, but I cut it down because it was just way too tall. I just wanted a little bit of a slope, and so this back wall actually measures 28 inches is what I cut it down to. And I got my 2 sides, bam, and bam. One thing I will say is plywood probably would be better than this stuff here. Obviously this stuff isn't going to last as long, but I'm going to try and paint it up real good so it'll last a while. It's just what I had on hand. I didn't really have a lot of money this week, so I just decided to make it out of scrap, what I got laying around here. And so this is what it ended up being. So I'm going to screw it all together and I'll get back with you. So I cut out a hole for the front. I wasn't really sure what the correct size hole would be, so I just kind of guessed. I used just an old paint can to start my circle and just kind of elongated it. So anyways, oh, and also on the inside, because this wood is so thin, I just used some pieces of trim, like so, to in the corners here, to so I could screw it in and make it a little bit stronger, and the screws would have something to bite into. Like I said, if you decide to do this, definitely you might want to use real plywood rather than this cheap stuff here. I think if I build another one, that's probably what I'll do. But I think if I go to the surplus store and get a can of paint, just paint it real good, inshallah, it'll hold up for a while. So I got to screw this end on here, and then I still got to do the top and the floor. But we will screw this front end on real quick, and then I'm gonna have to take a break because I got someone coming at 6:30, which is about 20 minutes, to look at some chickens. So I better take a break from this and get ready for that. So there's basically what I've got done so far. And I just got to do the roof and oops. So that's what I got done. And gonna have to straighten my shop up real quick, and then I gotta go out to the chicken yard. So I'll get back with you. Alright, so I thought I'd share just a few fun facts about barred owls with you. Barred owls are primarily found in wooded and swampy areas. They really like frogs, so they tend to be found in a kind of a swampy area with a lot of cover. They don't obviously like to be, like most predators, they don't like to be seen, so they prefer to stay kind of in a wooded area like pine forests and so on. So this is kind of the perfect habitat for them, actually, in my neck of the woods where I live. And my neighbors behind me here, they actually have a river running through their property, and this time of year it floods, so there's plenty of frogs. So this is kind of the habitat that they are typically found in. They're actually quite common in this area, but because of their plumage, they're not very often seen, and they're more heard than seen. They have a very unique sound. Some people describe it as who cooks for you, who cooks for you all. I kind of disagree with that slightly. To me, it sounds more like who cooks for you, who cooks for you. Like they put a little more emphasis on the second, who cooks for you. I'm not sure where people are getting the you all from, other than they do have kind of like a little glottal sound that they make at the end, which maybe is where they're getting the you all from. The male has kind of a shorter call, and it's not as sing-song as the female. The female has a very nice flowing sound. Woo, 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 woo. And the male's sound is more, a little bit more choppy than that. Something like woo, 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 woo. So it's kind of shorter and choppier than the female. And if you listen to them enough, you can, going on that, you can pick out pretty easily the male from the female in their sound. Usually when they get together, they make a lot of noise. It just sounds really cool to me. I just love how they sound. And you can call them in fairly easily if you can imitate them. I mean, you don't have to be perfect, but if you have the basic sound right, you can call them in. Obviously, if you do, you want to be kind of like undercover, because they'll see you and they won't come in close. But if you kind of like under the tree cover where they can't see you, they'll come quite close. And sometimes you can call them right in where you can, they'll fly right up into a tree where you can kind of see them. Something else interesting that they eat is skunks. They do like skunks, and obviously rats and mice. And they have excellent hearing. They have one ear right about here, right by their neck, and then they have another ear right above their eye. And this kind of triangulates sound so that they can pinpoint perfectly where their prey is, like even under like the leaves or something. They could hear a mouse and pinpoint exactly where it's at. A lot of times they do get hit by cars because frogs in the spring will go onto the pavement where it's dark, where when the pavement is warmer, they'll go to the pavement. And the owls know that, so they'll try and picking them off the pavement and not notice the cars and get hit by cars. So that's probably one of the main things that knocks them off, is is being hit by cars. They'll fly into cars. Also, sometimes they'll fly into electrical wires and break their neck. So that's probably the two main predators you could say for them. Other than that, sometimes a large number of birds will gang up on them and chase them off, especially if they show themselves in the daytime, which is probably another reason why they stick to like heavy cover in the in the pines or whatever, especially in the daytime. But they're great hunters, and they have, unlike like say the great horned owl or some other owls, they have brown irises, which makes them like they just have big dark eyes that just look like they're staring into your soul type thing. To me, it's really a fascinating feature. But this also allows them to see black and white really well, and they have excellent vision as well. I will try to make a video of me calling some in. I don't have the best owl voice, but I have been able to call them in successfully, so I must be fairly close. But basically, the basic sound they make is and I just practice that sound. And if you want to call them in, what you need to do is make the sound and wait for them to respond to you. And a good idea is to count how many seconds between your call and then their call. So like you make your call and then wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and when they respond, then wait again however many seconds it took for them to respond. And I would wait, if it took 15 seconds for them to respond, then after they respond to me, I'll wait 15 seconds again and then respond back. And you just keep playing this game until they come flying in, trying to figure out where you're at, where this other owl is in their territory. Sometimes you can walk, like if you can like move towards them, but you got to move slow and try not to let them see you, because obviously if they see you from a distance, they'll take off. I'll try to make a recording of me calling them in. Another thing, if you don't have the voice for it, you can buy one of these. This is called a hoot tube, and I purchased it at probably like 10 years ago at Myers in the hunting section. They're advertising these for locating turkeys, for turkey hunters. And you blow into them, and obviously you still have to make the same sound. And this one, for some reason, I think the tone is off. It's a little deeper than what I can do with my voice, and I think that using my voice seemed to be a little more successful than using this tube. But this tube does, I think it would work if you practice with it enough and get the tune just right. But you have to blow a little bit harder to get a higher pitch. And so it works great. It's pretty close also to their sound, and I think they cost about $15. But if you want to have some fun, if you don't have the voice, you can always buy one of these and practice with it, and it's a lot of fun. I'll show you in a video of me calling some in. I usually play around in the evening if I'm bored or something and I hear them. I'll practice trying to call them in. There's been, since spring, I've probably had 3 or 4 occasions where I've got them to come fairly close. It is kind of hard to get them on video, but I'll do my best to make a little video of me calling them in.